The most famous war story ever told doesn't end with victory. It doesn't contain the Trojan Horse. It doesn't contain Achilles' heel. It doesn't even show the fall of Troy. It ends with an old king sneaking into the enemy camp at night, kneeling and kissing the hands of the man who killed his son. And the killer weeps with him. This is the Iliad, the poem that founded Western literature. And its very first word is not hero, or war, or glory. It's wrath. Today we complete our Homer trilogy, and you'll see why the greatest war epic ever written is secretly one of the great poems about peace. Homer, around the 8th century BCE, stitched centuries of song about the Bronze Age into 2 monumental poems. The Iliad is the first. It covers just 50 days in the 10th year of the Trojan War, a decade-long siege fought over Helen, the queen who left Sparta for the Trojan prince Paris. 2 champions carry the poem. Achilles, the Greeks' greatest warrior, half divine, who knows his fate in advance, a short life in exchange for eternal glory. And Hector, the prince of Troy, who fights not for glory but for his wife, his infant son, and his city. The stakes are personal before they're epic. Agamemnon, the Greek high king, is arrogant. Achilles is proud. And when those two collide, the fate of the entire war hangs on one man's feelings. Because the poem's first word is wrath, the rage of Achilles. And that rage will cost everyone, everything. Achilles wants one thing, the honor he has earned in blood. In his world, honor isn't abstract, it's tangible, it's your share of the spoils. And Agamemnon, the high king, is forced to give up his own war prize, a captive woman. So he takes Achilles' prize instead, publicly, deliberately, to prove who is king. Achilles nearly draws his sword. The goddess Athena herself stops his hand, and Achilles makes a choice that will define the poem. He walks away. He withdraws from the war. Then he asks his mother, the sea goddess Thetis, to beg Zeus to let the Greeks lose. Until they beg for him, and lose, they do. Without Achilles, the Trojans surge. Hector, Troy's greatest defender, drives the Greeks back to their own ships. Fire reaches the fleet. The war is turning. Now Achilles' dearest companion steps forward, Patroclus. He can't bear to watch his friends die. He begs Achilles to let him fight, wearing Achilles' armor, so the Trojans will think the great warrior has returned. Achilles agrees with one warning: push them from the ships, nothing more. Patroclus pushes them from the ships. Then he keeps going. He fights like a god, until the god of the sun himself strikes him from behind, dazing him, and Hector drives a spear through him. Patroclus falls, and the armor of Achilles is taken as a trophy. When the news reaches Achilles, the poem changes key. He doesn't rage. First, he breaks. He collapses in the ash, defiling his own face, screaming a grief so terrible his immortal mother rises from the sea to hold him. This is the secret engine of the Iliad. Rage is what grief looks like when it refuses to cry. Then the rage comes. Hephaestus forges him new armor, a shield so beautiful it contains the whole world. Achilles puts it on, reconciles with Agamemnon, and stops being a hero. He becomes a catastrophe. He slaughters so many Trojans in the river that the river itself rises up, godlike, to fight him. Even the gods watch from Olympus, afraid. And still, it's not enough, because there is one man left: Hector. What follows is the most famous chase in literature. 3 laps around the walls of Troy, an entire city watching from above. Hector finally turns to fight. He dies asking only that his body be returned for burial. Achilles refuses. He kills him, drags him behind his chariot, and for 12 days circles the tomb of Patroclus, dragging Hector's body through the dust. The gods themselves are horrified. Wrath has won the battle. It has not healed a single wound. The gods order the body returned. And Homer gives us the most astonishing passage in ancient literature. Priam, the aged king of Troy, leaves his city alone in the night, guided by a god in disguise. He walks through the Greek camp, into the tent of his son's killer. He kneels. He takes Achilles' hands and raises them to his lips, the hands that killed so many of his sons. And he says, "Remember your own father." Achilles breaks. He weeps for Patroclus, for his father who will never see him come home, for Priam. The 2 enemies sit together in the torchlight and cry. Achilles returns the body. He promises a truce so Troy can mourn. The Iliad's final line is not about Achilles. It is, "So they buried Hector, breaker of horses. The twist is the tragedy, and the tragedy was necessary. Achilles chose glory knowing it meant an early grave, but wrath took the person he loved most before it ever took his enemies. Hector died because Achilles stayed angry. Achilles died, off-page, fated, because he chose fame over life. And Troy, which we never see fall, is already finished. A city that loses its heart has already lost. Homer refuses us a victory ending, because the deepest thing he knows is this: war's last casualty is shared humanity, and the only real victory is giving it back. So why does a war poem from 27 centuries ago still matter? Because the Iliad understood something we are still bad at. Rage is a feedback loop. Achilles' anger at Agamemnon gets Patroclus killed. His anger at Hector doesn't bring Patroclus back. Anger never buries what it loves. It only digs the hole deeper. And yet Homer's answer isn't cynicism. It's the tent at night. Two enemies weeping together. That moment is one of the oldest written acts of reconciliation in human history, and it still outranks most of our modern attempts at it. Notice, too, what Homer does with the enemy. The Trojans aren't villains. Hector saying goodbye to his wife and baby son is the tender center of the poem. The Iliad refuses to dehumanize the other side, in an age that dehumanized the other side by default. That's the bridge to our other two episodes. Odysseus watched all of this. And the Odyssey is his answer. Glory is a tombstone. Home is the alternative. Wrath, endurance, home. That's the whole map of being human. So here's my question for you, and it's the hardest one I've asked on this channel. If you were Achilles, could you have given the body back? Could you have broken bread with the man who took everything from you? Tell me honestly in the comments. I read all of them. And that completes our Homer trilogy. Next time on Old and New, we leave the battlefield for a crossroads, where a king runs from prophecy and runs straight into it. Sophocles' Oedipus. Subscribe so you don't miss it. Until then, keep reading the old in the new.